Hey, what is up, you guys? This is Hector Reyes. Thank y'all so much for tuning into my channel. As y'all can tell from the story, this is gonna be my coming out story, and it's been I've been trying to film this video for such a long time, and every single time that I try to film this video, it just comes out wrong, and I just fuck up, or I can't, I just can't say the words right, or I left out a part, or there's so many things that come into this video that there's so much for me to talk about that I just forget everything. But I'm gonna try this again for the 1000th time and tell you guys my coming out story. And I got a couple disclaimers for you guys. One, this video is gonna be real long, so I'm so sorry for that. Try to stay with me and just listen to me. Two, I'm not doing this for attention, or I don't want any sympathy from you guys, and that's one of the disclaimers. And third one, I think the third one, excuse me, this story, I'm trying to stick it on a certain timeline, the whole, from beginning to end, and I'm so sorry if I keep going back and forth. It's just, there's just so much within my, things that have happened to this, so many things that have happened to come to this point that is just, I'm so sorry, so bear with me, guys, I'm so sorry. But yeah, so let's get right into the video. I'm Hector Reyes, I am 21 years old, and as you can tell from the title, I am bisexual. And I've been knowing this for a very long time. I've been knowing that I've been this way for a while, and I always kept it to myself most of my life. I never really done anything about it until I never really started finding myself or started to find myself until I was about 14, 15 years old, when something called the internet happens. I've always known I was bisexual, or just different in a way, since I was very young, but no one really knows anything until when you're young, so what's the point of putting it in this video? And MySpace happens, and I find this whole community, you would say, of gay people, and I was just so shocked, because in my whole life, I was very, always closed off from the other world. I've always known this was be boy, girl, and that's it. Children live happily forever after, and that's it. So when I found MySpace and I found all these gay guys or lesbian women, I was just so not intrigued, but I was just so interested to find out more. So I would always add more people. I would add a bunch of guys. Then me, as a 14-year-old kid, I was just so overwhelmed. And I remember I was 14 years old, and some 28-year-old guy was talking to a 14-year-old kid, aka me. And it was just so weird, because it's as gross as that sounds, you guys. I know, it's fucking gross. It's disgusted. That was the first thing we were talking. And, so yeah, so it's just really gross that a 28-year-old guy was talking to me. And I remember he was like, oh, you gotta show me your pictures, or else we'll meet in person. That never happened. Never meet in person. I blocked him. I deleted him. Blah, blah, blah. The end. So as that goes on, my family would ask me, hey, why do you have gay people on your MySpace? I'm like, they're adding me, I'm not adding them. So they're like, okay, sure, whatever, sure. And as time goes on, I remember I'm turning 15, turning 16. I just keep that to myself. I don't really tell anybody. I remember my best friend. He has a cousin, and we would talk all the time. We would text and be friends or whatever. And then I remember one time he told me he came out, and he's like, oh, I'm bi, by the way. And I'm like, oh shit, no way, really? I am bi too. And so we started talking, we started flirting, and we just started flirting. We hanged out, we talked. We were real close friends. We did regular friend shit. And then I remember we kissed one time, and it just didn't feel wrong. It felt normal to me. It didn't feel like, oh my god, what did I just do? It felt normal. I didn't think any different about it. I didn't think any less of it. So that's what happened. And then I've always known that I have a closer bond to women than to guys. I'm not saying that I'm feminine and in any way. I'm very not feminine, if that makes sense. I mean, I don't act feminine. I don't really do that. But I would always talk to girls at a younger age. I would always take it in elementary school, middle school, talk to girls. They're more easier to get along with than guys, because guys, all they want to do is play sports and do all this shit. And then when guys play sports, me in general, I play just for fun, but they get so into it, and they get so competitive, and they get so upset about it, and it's just it's just a game. Calm down. But I will still play with guys, obviously, and I'll hang out with girls most of the time too. And then I remember after the whole, like, I talked to my best friend's cousin. He was actually a guy, because that was one of the first guy best friends I've had at the time. It was middle school, 14, 15 years old thing. Middle school, transitioning into high school. And I remember, like, after that relationship with that guy, like, obviously didn't last. It was like only a month or two. I would talk to my girlfriends, like my friends that were girls. And one of them, she was like a really close friend of mine. Like, she was like my best girlfriend. We're not friends anymore, but we were. I remember we would talk about like gays or bisexual, and she would be like, well, you know what? It doesn't matter. Like, if you are, you are. I'm not gonna judge you for anything like that. Like, we can actually talk about guys and like check out guys and all this like shit. And in my head, I was like, whoa, cool. Like, we can. So the next day, I had like the balls to say, I'm like, okay, today I'm gonna come out to her and I'm gonna tell her. And I was like, hey, like, I think I am bi, or bi-curious. Bi-curious, I would say. And so she was like, oh, that's cool. Like, that's fine. I mean, like, we actually could check out guys now. We could talk about guys. And then that's what we did. That's all we did, like, literally for my 10th grade year. Like, we would just talk about shit and talk about drama. And she'd talk about her problems. I was talking about my problems. And yada, yada, yada. I told my cousin at the same time. She's, like, my closest cousin I have. Like, the only cousin I have. And we just talked. And we just, like, it was just so much fun to talk about stuff like that. And then, you know, time goes on. 2012. I'm sorry if this sounds, like, so rushed. But this video is just so long, and I don't want to make this a 30-minute video. I've tried recording this so many times, but it's just so hard. So yeah, time goes on. I keep this to myself. I've never really, like, told anybody. Nobody really asked. Nobody really knows, you know, so I just keep it to myself. I'm single, so nobody really, like, I don't want to talk to nobody or whatever, so that happens. And then 2012 comes around, and that was a year. Sorry, my ear like popped. But yeah, so 2012 come, I started talking to this like one guy. He was a fucking biggest mistake of my life. We dated for 3 years. He was the boyfriend I had for like 3 years. You know, it's just like, that's a completely different story. But around the same time, it was like October, November. It was October. My best friends, like 2 close guy friends that I have, and I still have to this day, they keep telling me and pressuring me, like, oh, you need to have sex with a girl, you need to talk to girls, you need to, like, you know, do things with girls, because I guess they just lost their virginities or something, or they, you know, they both have girlfriends at the time, and I didn't. I was the only one who didn't. But they didn't know I had a boyfriend, like, behind closed doors. And they would tell me, and I'll be like, oh, yeah, I'll talk to a girl, or like, oh, yeah, I'm talking to her, or like, you know, all this shit. But I wasn't. I was just, like, so committed. I was really committed to this boyfriend I had for 3 years, supposedly. But in the beginning, you know, that's a different story. But, so yeah, so they would just tell me, and I would just be like, no, no, no. And it would be constantly, like, you have no idea. It would be, like, every fucking day, or, like, you know, they'll always talk about having sex or whatever. Like, bro, it feels so good, you need to have it. Or all this fucking shit. And I remember it was Halloween time, and I just couldn't take it anymore. And I remember when I told my girlfriends, they're like, oh, when are you gonna tell your guy best friend? And I'm like, I can't tell my guy best friend, because I can tell when like, guys are more homophobic and more, you know, like, oh, get away from me, like, don't touch me, don't, like, get near me or any of this stuff. So I just didn't want to have that fear, like, having my best friend, you know, push me away just because I'm bisexual. So I didn't really tell him, and I was just so afraid. And every single time I would try to tell him, like, literally, I tried telling him like 5 times before I actually told him. Like, I would tell him, like, oh, I gotta tell you something. And then at that moment, I would just freak out, and I'll be like, I'll just say a funny joke, or just like say something stupid. So, and every single time, it was just so, like, it was hard, you know. And, you know, it's a hard thing to tell for guys, because guys, when, you know, like, the same thing, they're just very homophobic and stuff, or some can be very homophobic. And it was Halloween time. We were waiting for my friend to come down his apartment, and we were in the alleyway, like, waiting for him to come out. And I told him in his car, I was like, hey, yo, like, you guys been telling me to have sex with a girl, or just talk to a girl, or just date a girl, and I can't. And he's like, well, why? I'm like, because I'm bisexual. And when I told him that, he just, like, didn't do a reaction. He was just like, okay, like, it's fine. He's like, bro, like, I'm like, I'm bisexual and I have a boyfriend. He's like, oh, do I know him? I'm like, no. He's like, you gotta show me him. And I showed him. And he's like, you know what, bro, like, you're my best friend, you're my close friend, like, I would never treat you any different, you're my brother. And you know what? No matter what, I would always love you, no matter what. And we like hugged it out, shaked hands, whatever, you know, all that shit. And it was a really like it was a weight, like a weight was off my shoulders feeling. It was just so great, and it was just like was good. And then my best friend came. I didn't tell him yet. He's like later on in my life, like later on in time. But yeah, I told him, and it was just great. And I finally could just, you know, he's very close to me. So when I finally told him, like, I can finally breathe. And then within those couple years, you know, time goes on. I don't really tell many people. I tell like people here and there, and like they're my friends, so they don't care about it either. And within those times, like when I was dating that guy, he would come over to my house like once a month, or like once every 2 months. And every single time, I remember one time, the first time he came over, I closed the door, and my mom got so pissed off. She was just like, "Why the fuck do you have the door closed? Why the hell do you have this and that? And what are you guys doing in there?" I remember she like banged on the door, like, "What the fuck are you guys doing?" And honestly, we weren't doing anything. We were just watching TV. I opened the door. I'm like, "What are you?" You know, she got so upset. Cause my mom comes from a very like religious, strict background. Like she's from Mexico and all that stuff. It was very religious, small little like city she lived in, like very small population. So I understand, you know, like that's just like, it's different for her. And I remember constantly, you know, she would whenever she would assume for those three years, or still like not even those 3 years, like throughout my whole life, whenever she thought like I was gay, or I assumed I did anything gay, which I don't remember. Because I remember one time I was like 12 years old, and she claimed that I was walking like a girl, which I'm pretty sure I wasn't. I was just walking, unless I don't even know I was doing it. She's like, "Why the fuck are you walking like a girl? Are you a fucking faggot?" And I'm like, "What do you think? A girl? I'm only 12 years old. What the hell are you talking about? I have no idea what the hell that is." And she just got so pissed off at me. And then back to when I was dating the guy, I was like 16, 17 years old. And whenever she would assume that, she would just like treat me rude. She wouldn't let me go out with my friends. She would take away my phone. She would just be a complete like a bitch to me. She wouldn't let me do anything. And I would just be so hurt. Like I would just be like so mad about that, like, you know. And I would just be so upset, and she'd be like, "Oh, why is he coming here? Like, why the fuck is that faggot coming over? Why is he always fucking here?" And I just didn't know what to say. She's like, "I don't want that faggot in my house. Kick him out, or else I would." And I remember she'll go out doing on her day. At the same time, like he would come in, and she'll just give me this stare, like this bitch stare, like, "Oh, watch when I come back home," or just, "You better not do any dumb shit." And I'll be just, honestly, I will be scared. Like most of the time, I'll be so scared and nervous. And my boyfriend at the time, that fucking, you know, that fucking stupid ass, he'd be like, "What's wrong?" I'm like, "Oh, nothing. You know, she's just mad at me because I forgot to take out the trash," or just make up some lie just to make him, you know, just so he won't feel uncomfortable. And that'll be ongoing for months, years, 3 years of just her daily, and me and her never really got along. So we would argue all the time. Like when I'm telling you all the time, I mean all the time. And she would just, you know, she just wouldn't understand. And I myself, like, I was just so tired of being this way, and I didn't want to be bisexual or gay anymore. Like honestly, I just wanted to break up with him sometimes, because I would just be in the shower. Like I would honestly be in the shower, like crying. Like I would cry and just like be so upset with myself. I'll be like, "God, like why did you make me this way?" Like I just want to have a simple relationship. I want my mom to be happy of me, proud of me, or just something, you know. Like, why am I gay? Why am I bi? I remember sometimes in my head when I was younger, like 14, 15 years old, before I was in this fucking relationship, or even, you know, when I would have a gay thought, or like some stupid, you know, thing like that, I would punch myself and punch my knee, or just anything. Like I remember before, I'll have like bruises on my knees or on my arms or something. So I'll have a gay thought, and I'll be like, just punch myself really hard. Like, you can't be like that. You cannot think straight. Think girls. And I remember when I would do that in middle school and high school, especially too. I would just punch myself because I didn't want to be like this. I would cry. I would constantly cry and be upset and be so mad because I was like this. And I never wanted to be like this. I never, like, you know, wanted to be this, but I learned to accept it and grow from it. So that's what I had to do. And then within those 3 years, he would constantly come over, you know, every here and there, like every month or every 2 weeks, and my mom would still be the same way, so pissed and so upset. And I remember one time I was 16, 17 years old, and we were at a Little Caesars, and she's like, "Do you gotta tell me something?" And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, do you gotta tell me something? Tell me right now. I'm like, what? Like, I don't understand. And she's like, are you gay or not? And I'm like what? Like, we're in a Little Caesars. What are you talking about? She's like, so you're not gonna tell me you're not gay? I'm like, no, I don't know what you're talking about. And she's like, all right then, Hector. All right, watch. Just watch. I'm like, I guess. I'm like, I don't know. So whatever. We went back home. She was a bitch. She took away my phone. She didn't let me go out for like a week or a weekend, and life goes on. After that, high school goes on. It was my senior year, and I just really wanted to come out because at the time, my boyfriend, I'm not gonna lie, like, yeah, I did cheat on him, but that's only because he was a fucking dick. Like, he treated me like shit. That guy is a completely different fucking story. Like, I don't want to talk about it, but he's a completely different story, completely different video. But I wanted to come out. Like, I just wanted to, like, just, because I was just so tired of hiding in the closet. Like, I told all my friends. I didn't tell my family yet, but I wanted to, And I remember I told him, like, do you want to come to prom with me? Do you want to do anything with me? He's like, no, I can't because I'm busy doing this and that. I'm like, all right, fine, cool, whatever. And I told him, like, I want to come out to my mom. I want to come out to my sisters. Like, because I'm very close to my sisters. Like, I feel like family is all you got. Like, blood is thicker than water. So my brother always told me. And I just wanted to tell my sisters and brothers so bad. And I remember the guy I dated for 3 years that he was also bi in the closet. He would tell me, why are you going to tell them? I'm like, because I'm tired of hiding. I'm tired of being in the closet. He's like, why? If you tell them that you're gay or bi, they're going to think you're a fucking rapist and you're going to rape the kids and all this shit. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, they know I don't do that. So, like, I never even thought about that. And like, oh no, she's gonna think that you're gonna rape her kids, you're gonna babysit the kids, you're gonna think about you different, they're gonna think you're crazy and a rapist and all this shit in my head. And I'm fucking 16, 17 years old. Like, I want to come out, and I'm like, is that true? Is that not true? Like, so I believe them, and I'm like, okay, fine, I'm not gonna tell them at all anymore. I don't want them to think I'm gonna rape their kids, which I fucking not. Like, obviously, that's fucking stupid. So I kept it a secret, and obviously, I stayed with him, and I wanted to go to prom with him, but obviously we dated for 3 years, so in 11th grade I wanted to go prom. He's like, no, I'm not going. And like, I don't want people to find out. I don't want people to know that I'm like this. I'm not going with you to prom. Like, don't even think about it. Don't ever ask me that again. And I was like, okay, I guess. And so I asked, like, my girl best friend, like, my friend, if you guys know, I went with my friend. Like, she's just really great. It was she's so beautiful, like, everything, and we had the best time of our life on prom. It was the best night of my life, and it was just the best time with my friends and everything, and it was just so great. I have pictures on my Instagram, like the bottom of my feed, but it was so great. I don't regret prom. Prom was amazing, but I went with a girl, and it was just great. It was amazing. I loved prom so much. So that happens. I graduate, and then 2015 comes along, and I still am with that guy. And obviously, I wasn't so happy with him. I was just tired of it. He never saw me. He never cared for me. He was a gold digging ass motherfucker. And I'm sorry, I keep saying it's gonna be a completely different video, but I keep adding little clips of him. But yeah, that was it. Like, I break up. 2015 was a year for myself, and 2016 was a year for myself as well. So back to 2016 is as a fresh new year, new me. Like, I'm trying, like, I'm finding myself, I'm getting older, and I started talking to this one guy, and it was around, I believe, March, April, and I started talking to this guy, and between those, like, 2014, like, those 3 years was 2014, 15, I break it up. No one really knows about anything. I keep it to myself. No one questions me. Me and my mom are somewhat good. We're still arguing, but that's just us, and we just argue constantly all the time. Like, there's no, we just argue, and I started talking to this one guy, and it was the first like actual relationship after the breakup, and he was just completely different, and I was just so, like, in the thought of being in love with somebody. It was just great, and I didn't care about what anybody else thought about me. Like, I was just so tired of it, because all my friends knew. So I was just like, I'll post a picture of him on my feed, and I wouldn't say anything that he's gay. I'll just put, like, a friendly thing so people would think he'll be my friend. And my sisters would constantly ask me, like, oh, who is that? I'm like, oh, he's just a coworker from work. And I just, kept telling him, no, he was just a friend. And then after a couple months, or after a couple weeks actually, I dated him, and I was just so in love. I'm gonna say I was just so in love with him. I wasn't, obviously, because I'm not with him now. But I liked him a lot, pretty much, put it that way. I liked him a lot. And I remember I came home from a movie date with him, and I went to my sister's room, and I was like, look, I'm gonna tell her now because, I wanted to. And then plus, he was like telling me like, oh, you should tell your sisters to come out. It's very easy, like, no one cares. He like pushed me to come out, And so then I told my sister, I'm like, look, I've been hiding this for years now, my whole life, and I want to tell you guys this. I want to tell you this. I am bisexual. She's like, so you're gay? I'm like, no, I am bisexual. She's like, so you're gay? You like guys? I'm like, no, like, I am bisexual. Like, I like girls and I like guys. She's like, oh, like, it's fine, Hector. Like, we've always known this about you. I just didn't know. We just don't know, like, why weren't you comfortable enough to come out earlier? And we had a conversation from that, and I came out to her. It was like a very good feeling, And then week by week, I have 4 siblings. I have 2 older sisters, 1 older brother, and 1 younger sister. And literally, like, day by day or week by week, I will tell each single one of them. I remember I told my other older sister and my brother at the same time. Like, I told her, and then like a second later, he came in and I told them. And when I told my other older sister, she's like, okay, like, I don't care. She didn't care at all. Great, She's like, we've always known this. We didn't know why you haven't like came out. Like, this was the question of like the question of the century, or the question of life, because we've always known. You've always done, like, you're not really like feminine, but we've seen like little things, like very little things about you, and we're comfortable with that. We don't care if you are or not. We still love you. You're my little brother, no matter what. And then telling my brother was also very hard, because my brother is like, I looked up. He's obviously my older brother, and I looked up to him so much. Like, I've always, I liked my older brother. We were very close, and telling him I was very scared because, I'm a guy, and obviously, like, I would think he'd be homophobic as well, and just be like, oh, don't get away from me, or like, don't touch me, or we wouldn't have that same connection like we used to. And when I told him, he's like, you know what, you're my brother. I would always love you no matter what. I'm always gonna be here for you no matter what, and I'm here. I'm your older brother. No matter what, I would always care for you. We all love you. And so when he told me that, it was just like a very comforting feeling. It was just a very great feeling that a guy, someone that's a guy, not a girl, accepts me. And I told my sister-in-law told me, she's like, are you? And my sister was there, and she's like, yeah, I am. And when I told my little sister and my sister-in-law, they just kind of like, not forced me, but they were like, are you? And I was like, yeah, I don't care. Yes, I am. I kind of like, well, like, fuck, like, why did I tell them? But at the same time, like, it was bound to happen sooner or later, so, and they accepted it either way. And once I told all my siblings, they were always telling me, so they're asking me the big question, when are you gonna tell my mom? Telling my mom was the hardest thing of my life. Like, I know it wasn't gonna turn out well. My mom comes from a very religious background, very harsh background, like her past and all that stuff. Very harsh. So I understand, she's gonna freak out. And I remember, like, throughout my life, like, throughout high school and till now, my friends will constantly tell me, like, oh, tell your mom. She's not gonna freak out. She'll love you. You're her son. And all this stuff. And I'm like, you guys don't know my mom. Like, she would freak out. She honestly would, like, freak out. And I told her, I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, I'm not gonna tell her. And she's like, no, she's your son. You're not gonna freak out. I'm like, you guys don't understand. Like, she's gonna freak out. And I'm saying this so many times, guys, because that's literally how many times I told my friends. Like, they don't understand, but they don't know my mom. Obviously, they all think she's gonna be a lovey-dovey and all this stuff. So, whatever. Time goes on, like, a couple weeks pass by, and like, as my brothers know, like, we get closer, and like, and I feel like, within those 3 years like I was with, and then to now, like, the tension is building up and building up and building up. And then 2016, this guy, is building up and building up. We break up, that guy, and then comes like October-ish, and I found someone new with a boyfriend. Now we're currently in a relationship, and it's just like, together. And he comes over the house, and we go out places and he meets my family, and then, you know, my mom is like, who the fuck is this guy? You know, who the fuck is he? And towards December, she's telling me, like, she tells me, like, Hector, come in my room. And she's like, Hector, God makes these things and God does this to people, and it's okay. I want you to know that I'm very understanding, and I'm very, you know, I want you to put trust in me, pretty much. And I'm like, she's like, so Hector, and then she starts crying. She's like, Hector, if you are, just tell me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, Hector, just tell me you're gay or something nearby. I'm like, I'm not. And she's like, Hector, I know you are. I know that guy in the room is your boyfriend. I know, just tell me. And I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, Hector, swear to God, you're not that. And I'm like, I'm not. And she's like, Hector, swear to God. And I'm like, I am not. What are you talking about? Like, I'm not gonna say anything just because I know you're gonna freak out. You know, in my head, I'm like, I know you're gonna freak out. So why am I gonna say it? And then she's like, okay, fine. You can go, you can leave now. And obviously she was crying and tearing up, and I go. And then a month later passes by. It's January, like 20 something. And then I remember she's like, within those, the beginning of January to now, like, tension has built up so much. Like, she's so upset at me. Like, she doesn't even talk to me. She didn't talk to me like for a week before I came out to her, because it was just so much tension. And I remember she was stressed on my family, like, throughout the years. She's like, it's Hector gay, it's Hector bi, it's Hector gay, it's Hector bi. And everybody would be like, no, he's not. Like, why the fuck are you saying that? And then I remember I was driving my sister to school, and she was like stressed out, and she was crying. She's like, Mom is so annoying, and like, she's doing this to me. Like, she's just constantly like being so rude to me, and she's over here telling, you know, that Hector's a fucking faggot and un pinche maricón. And at that point, I got so upset, because you don't like mess with my little sister. Like, I'm very overprotective over my little sister, and I just got so upset. So I drop her off, and I go back home, and I put myself ready, because I get very defensive over my little sister, you guys. You don't understand. And I go up to her. I'm like, look, you can talk shit about me all you want, but tell me in front of my face. You don't go off harassing my little sister or anybody else. If you want to tell me something, you know? And then that's where it all begins. That's where literally we argue for like an hour. It's like, well, you over here bring that fucking guy over, you're a fucking faggot. That fucking faggot's over here every fucking weekend laying down in your bed. Like, how is that showing an example to the kids? When we sleep, we have the door closed. Like, what is that showing to the kids, huh? Like, being gay is alright? And I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, no, you know? And she's like, no, you're bringing that fucking guy, you're doing this and that. You know, you don't even pay attention to your family anymore and all this stuff, which I do. And then she's like, so tell me what you are, huh? Tell me what you fucking are. I'm like, you know, and at that point, I was just so tired. I'm like, you know what, Mom? I call her senora or miss. I'm like, you know what, miss? I am bi. And she's like, you're what? And I'm like, you know what? I'm bi. I'm Hector. Like, I am a guy who likes boys and who likes girls. She's like, so what the fuck are you? So you're a fucking faggot? I'm like, no, I am a guy who likes boys and girls. And she's like, and then she's just like, you know what, Hector, you're a fucking faggot, you're gay. I'm like, you know what, yeah, I am. I'm Hector Reyes. She's like, what's that supposed to mean? And I told her the same thing. And she's like, you know what, Hector, you better stop all that fucking gay shit. You better stop with that fucking bullshit. I'm like, you know what, no, I'm not gonna stop. I'm tired of pleasing you. I'm tired of trying to make you happy. I know telling you this would get you upset, so I kept it a secret all my life. I knew you would be like this when I told you. So, you know what, I'm done. So I was like, you know what, I'm done trying to make you happy. I know if I told you, you would blow up. I know if I told you, you would go screaming and cussing at me and telling me all this fucking bullshit. But you know what, I'm tired of hiding it from you. I'm tired of this. I am bisexual, and I'm not gonna stop being who I am, because you know what, I am me, and that's all you need to know. She's like, you know what, Hector, you're fucking crazy. You need to go see a doctor, a psychologist, a fucking therapist, a counselor. You're fucking sick, Hector. That's what you are. You're fucking sick. And I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever you want. I'm not gonna stop being myself, and I'm gonna be like this no matter what. You can't stop me. And then she's just like, she goes off, and we're just arguing, and she's like, Hector, and after that she starts crying, and then obviously, like, I'm so angry at myself. I'm so angry at everything that came out. Like, I started tearing up, you know, and I started telling her the same thing, like, this is why exactly what I didn't want to tell you, and go fucking crazy. Like, I knew you are. And she's like, and at that point, like, towards the end of the argument, she starts telling me, like, where did I go wrong with you? Like, did I love you too much? Did I care too much for you? Did someone ever rape you or touch you when you were a kid? Like, what's you know, what's going on. You know, did I love you too much? Did I, you know, not give you enough freedom? Like, what did I do to deserve this? Like, where did I go wrong with you? Where did I go wrong with my son? And then I'm like, you know what? Whatever. I'm done talking to you. I don't want to talk to you ever again. Don't ever talk to me. So you know what? Today, Hector, you lost a mom. 'Cause you are not my son. I don't ever want to talk to you ever again either. Don't. You know what? Don't ever talk to me. And all right, fine. So we don't talk to each other. And we don't talk. And I was tearing up, and I called my sisters, and I told them what has happened. And I'm just like crying over the phone. I don't usually cry, but I start crying. And they're like, you know what, Hector, it's fine. It's just, she just needs time to adjust to everything. And she just doesn't know, like, what I had to go through and what I've been through to come to this point. Like, she has no idea about my life, you know? And I knew she wasn't going to be acceptive, but oh well, you know? So I drive to my dad. He lives like an hour away, and I told him the story. I told him what happens. And then he's like, you know what, Hector, you're my son, and I would always love you no matter what. Just don't pay attention to her. Keep doing you, and that's all you need, you know? Like, I would always love you. You're my son. And he knows with my dad, like, he's always been a part of my life. He was never not a part of my life. So hearing those from my dad was just very, like, comforting and good. So, you know, I know I'm gonna be okay, you know? I drive back home, and I'm just talking to my friends, and I just talk to my sisters and siblings, and, you know, life goes on. Life goes on. And it's been over like 10 months, and I still haven't talked to her. And honestly, it's fine by me. I don't care. And if you're not gonna talk to me, that's perfectly fine. Like, I'm done pleasing people, and I'm gonna focus on myself, because my whole life I've been trying to please everyone else and not myself. And I lost myself, and now I'm trying to find myself. I know who I am. I'm in a relationship with someone I really adore and really like and love. And I just learned to keep the people around you who love you close, and just around good people, you know? I've kicked people out of my life that don't deserve me, you know? And just learn not to care what anybody else thinks, even if they're family. Like, oh well, you know, they lost someone great, you know? Just don't care for anybody else, and just do you guys. And I hope this video helped or give you some advice to take from, and just learn to do yourself and stop caring what people think. Because at the end of the day, it's just you and your happiness and your well-being. And that's honestly all you need to worry about. And yeah, that's pretty much it. I know I missed out on a bunch of information. If you guys want to know, you leave a question below, and I would try to comment it, or I'll make a separate video of like a part 2, I guess. I don't know, probably not. But just leave a question, I'll try to answer it. If you guys have any questions, I doubt it, but oh well. And yeah, make sure you give this a like or subscribe if you guys want. But yeah, that was my coming out story, you guys, and I hope you guys enjoyed this, and I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.